So guys, that's my rudder, and that is supposed to be here. And I took it out because I want to change this bearing here. So there's this, I don't know, it should supposed to be white. And I'd like to replace that one. So I'd like to get a new one and put it in there. Now the issue is, I have no idea how to disassemble it, other than taking the rudder out and then see what happens. So that's what I did. This is sailing Shango. We are a family living in the north of Germany, in the city of Hamburg. In the weekends we used to sail the river Elbe. And during summer holidays we sail the Baltic Sea or the North Sea, visiting countries like Denmark or Sweden, the Netherlands, Belgium or even France. So join us on our sailing adventures. Okay, I wanted to change this bearing as well. And if I want to change this bearing, I have to take the propeller out, right? The complete shaft. And to do that, I have to remove the rudder. So, first remove the rudder, then take the propeller out. And then I can sort of replace this bearing here. So that was the idea. But as I removed the rudder, sort of at the first place now, then I was like, I can change this one as well. So that's the idea now. Yeah, that's the idea. Rudder is here. So let me show you the other side. Sort of here at this part. Here you see some other stuff as well. There you go. This is where it sort of normally sticks out, right? And so I need to disassemble these 4 screws, take this one out, and then I should be able somehow to either push it out, this bearing sort of down there, or maybe, I don't know, with a hammer, or I have to replace anyway. So yeah, let's see what we can do. So I just mentioned 4 screws, but I actually meant, of course, bolts and nuts. So step 1 is to disassemble those 4 bolts and nuts. Well, the tricky thing here is that the bolts are outside and the nuts are inside. So there is not a lot of space there, but let's give it a try. Alright, so now that the bolts and nuts are disassembled, I can basically disassemble all the stuff outside. I found a broomstick somewhere in the boat, so I was like, let's use the broomstick. Or of course there's no broom anymore, so basically only the stick. But it's wood and it's pretty soft, and what you don't want is sort of completely destroy your bearing. So I decided to use this broomstick without the broom and hammer it out slowly by slowly moving it around over the surface of the bearing. So here it is. I cleaned it a little bit, all the parts, because it was a little bit of dirt everywhere. So what you basically see is that you sort of have this bearing here. That's what I wanted to replace, so that's supposed to be here. I tried to put it like this. You see sort of small scratches here. So then you normally would have this sort of here, more or less. And this one is supposed to be somewhere here, I guess. You see? And then I think it's normally like this. So is it correct? Maybe I'm wrong. So maybe it's supposed to be like this. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's like this. And then there's some other parts here. Exactly. That's the idea. It goes like this. Yeah. So there you go. Now I'm going to disassemble it again. This is just sort of to get the idea how it works. Alright. This guy here. There we go. So I actually made this rudder 2 years ago. So I completely took it apart, the old one, and then built a complete new one. So this is a new rudder. It's a little bit longer than it is supposed to be. So like 20 centimeters longer. Yeah, I don't have videos, but I will put some photos in there, and you can see it.
Okay, how to build your rudder in 10 seconds. There we go.
I'm going to order a new one. It's supposed to be sort of sit in here. Not sure how easy it is to put it in here. Yeah, and then sort of assemble everything again. So in the meantime there was some space in the warehouse, so I could move the boat from outside to inside the warehouse. So that's good because I'm working on a bunch of projects and it is good to be less weather dependent. So let's get in there. Don't try to fix something that ain't broken. And I thought there was some movement of the bearing or some movement of the rudder in the bearing. This isn't true. I disassembled everything and I can tell you it's all fine. So now I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to buy a new bearing or so, because it's not really broken. So what are we going to do? We're going to put this guy back in here and then assemble everything back again. Gotcha. So after I disassembled it, it's now back again. So that's the good message. Okay folks, so now that the bearing's back, I can basically assemble everything back again in the cockpit. So we have 4 bolts and nuts, and maybe you remember it from earlier in the video that there is not a lot of space there down there. So check it out. So maybe you know it from other jobs where you don't have a lot of space. For example, a car or a boat. You do not really have good access. So everything that possibly can go wrong will go wrong. So the bolt drops or the nut drops or you lose your tool. It can be sort of everything, right? So That's always a little bit the challenge here. Okay guys, we're going to put the rudder back. And how's it going to work? That's the question. Here are we with the rudder. It is supposed to be here. I asked a few folks to help me with lifting the rudder. It's not a really difficult task, but it's difficult if you're alone. So they helped me, and then it went really fast, as you see. Now that the rudder is back, I basically have to assemble everything back. All the small parts, all the bits and pieces. I can remove those pieces of wood that I needed to lift the rudder, but this seems to be working, so that looks good to me. I use those hydraulic jacks to lift everything up a little bit, so the boat trailer plus boat, because maybe you remember that I made the rudder a little bit longer, so I have to make sure that everything is lifted a little bit so that it really fits. But I'm done, so I can clean up everything and get rid of the stuff here. Alright folks, I am done with the rudder. The rudder is in there. So in the end I did not replace the bearing. Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a mistake to get it out. I tried to find a new one, but it was really difficult. So I don't want to take the risk of buying a new one and then figure out that that one doesn't fit as good as this one. In the end, this one is actually not so bad, definitely better as I expected. So I assembled everything back again. It fits really good, and yeah, the next project is the propeller with the shaft. So I see you in the next episode where I'm going to disassemble the propeller and the shaft. So see ya, ciao.